Alright guys, welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial. Today we are going to be using the type tool, more specifically to complete the nameplate effects assignment. I'm going to be working right off of the provided rubric, so if you would go ahead and reference that as we work, I will just go right down the list. The first thing on the rubric is to create a new Photoshop document. So we'll go here to create new, and then using the web small preset located in the web category, okay, the tabs or the categories are up here at the top in the new document dialog box. We are going to use web small, okay. Name the document nameplate. And then we will save this document into our OneDrive folder. So I'll go ahead and create it. To save into OneDrive, File, Save As, find your OneDrive, and then drop that file in there for you. All right. So next, use the horizontal type tool to place your name on the document 3 separate times, each on a different type layer. So here's our type tool. It's a little past halfway down. Okay, when I click to select the type tool, you'll see at the top on the options bar, we've got all our different options. And what we're gonna do is click and type our name. Okay. Once you get your name typed in there, you can change the font. Okay, so if I chose that, let's pull the size way up. If I want it even larger than that, I can kind of use the scrub here to click and drag to the right. Okay, move tool, move it back in place. Grab my type tool again. We can change the color. All right. There we go. And we are also going to use a custom font, which we did. Let's use some basic type effects. All right, so if we go down to the Coach Keener type layer, I'm gonna name it Coach Keener Lime. Okay, so I can identify which layer it is. If yours is a different color, go ahead and put that identifier after there. And then off to the right, past my name, I'm going to double click on the layer to get the layer styles dialog box. Now in here, you've got all sorts of options and effects you can put on your text. For example, if I click on the word stroke, okay, it will apply a stroke. It's going to apply a black stroke with a 1 pixel size. If I want to bump that up a little bit, okay, I don't really like the way that looks because the stroke is inside. If I change it to outside, I like that look a lot better. Okay, you can even look at the color of the strokes. Okay, if I wanted that to be a little darker blue, there we go. Some other effects, and you guys just take some time, kind of explore what these effects do. Another one I like is drop shadow, so I'll click on that. I will pump up the distance a bit. All right, the opacity, I can make that a little darker, the size. All right, and it gives it a little shadow effect underneath there. Again, all sorts of different options. You can change the angle, okay, if you want it above instead of below or to the side. All right, you can change those options as well. So again, a whole lot of, you can overlay your text with a pattern and kind of search through the patterns and the different categories and everything. So this part of the assignment is for you guys to kind of explore, find what you like. If you have an effect on there and you come back and you're like, I don't like that, you can just uncheck the box and it will go away. Okay, so looking at our layer now, you can see that the Coach Keener Lime layer is active. FX means there's some effects applied to it. The effects are visible because you get the little eyeball here. If I were to click that, all the effects would disappear. Okay? If I click just next to stroke, the stroke would disappear. If I click the pattern overlay, that would disappear, etc. So that's how the layer functions once we get a line of text in there. All right? So let's go ahead and grab the type tool again. This time I am going to use some area type, so I'm going to click and hold and kind of drag a bounding box around where I want my text to appear. It gives us this sample or placeholder text. It's called lorem ipsum. So it's not going to make a lot of sense to you guys, but it's lorem ipsum is also known as placeholder text. So if you're working on a layout or a design or something and you see lorem ipsum in there, you know that that is just showing you how it looks with text populated in the document or whatever it is. So I'm going to go ahead and type my name again. This time let's go ahead and choose a different font. Okay. How about some fancy cursive there? Let's change the color. Let's go with like a red, darker. Let me find one that's good right in there. All right, there we go. I'll grab the move tool, kind of move it around. I actually want to free transform this one a bit. So I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform, or Control T. I'm going to spin it just a bit. Okay, if you also wanted to resize it, you could of course grab the corners and click to resize, etc. And then hit enter. Now part of the rubric is to adjust at least one setting from the character panel on each type layer. So we need to access the character panel. Anytime there's a panel that you want to be displayed, but it's currently not visible, all you have to do is go to the Window drop-down menu, search for it, for example, character. When I click that, I'll see the character panel. Okay, in my last name here, I'm going to highlight it. Let's go to the tracking character, or the option, which is the space between all characters in a range of letters. Okay, so from 0, let's change it to 25. You can see it spaces out all the characters evenly throughout the text. So if I want to go 75, that actually puts it on the next line. So I'm going to bump it back down to 50, and there you go. Again, that is the tracking. The leading, if we had 2 lines of text, that would be the spacing between the 2 lines of text on top of one another. The kerning, again, is the space between 2 characters. Okay, so if I wanted the C and the H, I could go in and adjust the kerning that way. Okay, that one's good for now. So I'm going to double click this one where it says Coach Keener and name this one Coach Keener Red. Double click off to the right, add some effects. Let's try bevel and embossing. Our text is sort of thin, so it's not a drastic change. But what else can we do it? Let's give it a gradient overlay. Ooh, I don't like that much at all. Okay, that looks a little better there. Okay, gradient overlay. Again, if you want to throw like a drop shadow, that actually looks pretty good. Or an outer glow, you'd have to adjust the settings a little bit there, but drop shadow looks pretty good on that one. All right, and then hit OK. So you've got 2 type layers. Remember, all you need is one more here. So same thing, one last time. Type tool, click and type. Choose a new font. All right, let's go with find something different. There we go. Resize if you'd like. I've got my character panel open. So tracking, let's go 200 there, spacing between the entire range of characters. Move tool, go back to my type tool, change the color. All right, there we go. The effects, after I rename it, Coach Keener, I guess this is almost like a teal color. Double click to the right. Let's make it a satin. Let's also give it an inner glow, which is tough to see, so let's get rid of that. And how about another drop shadow? I'm digging the drop shadow today. So there we go. All right. So again, looking at the rubric, you've got your name on the document 3 separate times, each on a different type layer. We've got a custom font and basic type effects on our name with different color styles and effects. On each layer, we've adjusted at least one setting from the character panel. I'd actually have to go back and do that for the first layer, but that's easily done. Right there are the options. Resize and warp your name layers so they fit appropriately in your workspace. Let's take a look at that real quick. So I'm going to go back to my first layer with my type tool. I'm going to click and highlight and go up here in the options bar to the create warped text option. So you can click that. A bunch of presets in there. So if we want to arc the text, there you go. You can adjust the bend. Okay. Like I said, there's all sorts of different options in there you can use, and then I hit OK. So there we go. You've got some warped text in there as well. Name your layers so they fit appropriately. Perfect. And then lastly, you're going to save the completed image as a JPEG and submit through Google Classroom for grading. So File, Save As. It's totally done. We don't have to edit it anymore. So I'm going to type nameplate, put your last name. After this, save as type, we're going to choose JPEG right there. And then choose OneDrive and go ahead and save it. Once you've done that, you're going to look for this file, nameplate, your last name, which is a JPEG, upload it and turn it in through Google Classroom. Hope this tutorial was helpful. See you guys in the next one.